Most new founders don't make stupid mistakes. They make mistakes that look like good business. Interesting, right? They build the website. They design the logo. They launch the product. They post every day. They get compliments. They get followers. They get a few customers. And suddenly, they think they're building a company. But sometimes, they're just getting very good at being busy. Some of the most dangerous mistakes in business don't feel like mistakes while you're making them. That's the mess. Let's show you. Mistake 1. Confusing interest with demand. Someone says, "That's a great idea." You get excited. 10 people say it. Now you're convinced. But here's the problem. Compliments are free, customers aren't. Someone saying they'd buy your product isn't the same as someone pulling out their wallet. And this is where founders fool themselves. They ask, "Would you use this?" Instead of watching what people already do. How are they solving the problem today? What are they already paying for? What have they already tried? Your customer's current behavior is usually more honest than their prediction about the future. You don't need people to like your idea. You need evidence that the problem is painful enough for someone to change their behavior. That's a completely different test. Mistake 2. Building the business before building the demand. This one feels productive, and that's why it's dangerous. You spend 3 months building the perfect product before discovering whether anyone cares. Then another month making the website beautiful. Then another creating social media accounts. Then suddenly you're sitting there with something that looks like a business, but doesn't behave like one. The product works. The branding works. The website works. Everything works. Except sales. That's not a product problem. That's a sequence problem. You built the expensive part before proving the valuable part. A landing page can test interest. A prototype can test usability. A conversation can test the problem. A pre-order can test commitment. A sale tests reality. The earlier you can get reality into the room, the cheaper your mistakes become. Mistake 3. Trying to sell to everyone. This sounds ambitious. Everyone is my customer. No, everyone is nobody's customer. When you're new, you don't need the biggest audience. You need the clearest one. Because the more specific the customer, the easier it becomes to understand what they want, what they fear, what they're already buying, what language they use, and why they would choose you. Imagine saying, "We help businesses grow," versus, "We help independent restaurants turn first-time customers into regulars." One sounds bigger. The other sounds sellable. Early businesses often need to become smaller before they become bigger. Own one problem for one kind of person. Then expand when you've earned the right. Mistake 4. Mistaking customers for product-market fit. You get 5 customers. Amazing. You get 20. Even better. Now you're thinking, we've cracked it. Maybe. But ask a harder question. Would these customers buy again? Would they recommend you? Would they notice if you disappeared? Would they be disappointed if they couldn't use your product anymore? Customer acquisition can hide a weak business. You can pay for customers. You can convince customers. You can even give customers discounts. But if customers don't stay, your growth is leaking out the back door. So don't only measure how many people bought. Measure, why did they stay? That's where the real business starts becoming visible. Mistake 5. Scaling a miracle. This is one of my favorites. A founder gets 10 customers through Instagram, so they hire a social media manager. Then 20 come through referrals, so they hire a sales team. Then one big customer arrives, and suddenly the whole company changes its roadmap around them. Now here's the problem. You don't know whether you found a system or got lucky. One successful month isn't a machine. It's an event. Before you scale something, ask, can I make this happen again? And again? And again? Scaling means multiplying what works. It doesn't mean multiplying what happened once. There's a huge difference. Mistake 6. Becoming the best employee in your own company. This one feels noble. You're the first person answering customers. You make every decision. You approve every design. You close every sale. You solve every problem. And eventually, nothing moves without you. Congratulations. You've created a job where you are the bottleneck. A business shouldn't become less capable when the founder leaves the room. At first, your job is to do everything. Then your job becomes figuring out what you should never have to do again. Document it, delegate it, automate it, or eliminate it. Because if every problem still needs the founder, you haven't built a company. You've built a dependency. Mistake 7. Protecting the idea instead of protecting the business. Founders get emotionally attached. I've spent too much time on this. I've already invested money. We just need more time. Maybe. Or maybe you're trying to rescue something because admitting it isn't working hurts. Your first idea isn't your business. It's a hypothesis. The business is what survives after reality attacks the hypothesis. That's exactly why Lean Startup encourages intelligent pivots instead of stubborn persistence. History proves it. YouTube wasn't supposed to become YouTube. Instagram wasn't supposed to become Instagram. Slack wasn't supposed to become Slack. Their first ideas failed. Their pivots succeeded. Pivoting isn't failure. Refusing to pivot is. If customers keep rejecting the offer, change it. If the market is wrong, change it. If the product is solving the wrong problem, change it. Your ego wants consistency. Your business needs adaptation. The goal isn't to prove that your original idea was right. The goal is to build something that works. Mistake 8. Chasing revenue that makes the business worse. This one gets almost no attention. Founders celebrate revenue. Obviously. But not all revenue is equal. Imagine you make $100,000, but every customer requires custom work, constant support, discounts, and your personal involvement. You didn't necessarily build a great business. You may have built a very expensive job. Revenue is an output. You need to understand what that revenue is doing to the machine. Does it create repeat customers? Does it improve margins? Does it strengthen distribution? Does it make the next sale easier? Or does every new dollar create another problem? Because sometimes, more sales can make a weak business fail faster. That's a nasty sentence, but it's true. Growth doesn't fix a broken model. Sometimes it exposes it. The biggest mistake. And underneath all of these, there's one mistake. Waiting for certainty. New founders want to know. Will this work? Will customers buy? Will the market grow? Will this product succeed? You won't know, not completely. That's the game. So stop trying to eliminate uncertainty. Start trying to buy information cheaply. Don't spend 6 months finding out nobody wants it when you could have learned that in 6 days. Don't hire 10 people to discover you needed 2. Don't build 20 features to discover customers only want 1. The advantage isn't knowing the future. It's finding out what's true, faster, and with less damage. That's what separates a founder who is merely busy from a founder who is actually learning. So if you're building your first business, don't ask yourself, am I working hard enough? That's probably not the problem. Ask, what am I doing right now that feels like progress, but hasn't produced evidence? That question can save you months, maybe even years. Business isn't about being right from the beginning. It's about being wrong without going broke. That's the mess. If this made you think differently about starting your business, follow Bizmess on social media and subscribe on YouTube for weekly lessons on business psychology, strategy, and building companies that last. I'll see you in the next one.